How's it going, guys? This is Vaughn, and we're back in American Truck Simulator once again, but not in 1.49. We're in 1.50. That was a very unexpected, very interesting decision by SES to skip the open beta and give us a full 1.50 and all its quirks and kinks. Nonetheless, we're excited to get into it. And then we have Nebraska as well, so we're doing a shipment over there. We're in Cody, Wyoming, as you can tell from the rodeo going on back there. And we're going to make our way over to Nebraska, and it's about 5 in the morning, so we should be getting some sunlight here soon. But, yeah, we'll get rolling out of here. We've got lots of driving to do and lots to discuss, and plenty of time to do that. So let's get rolling out of here. All right, ready to go. So as you can see, we're in our W900 highway killer from John Ruda. I did not get to put together a hopper trailer just yet. Hoping to do that for the next video.
Turn left.
Let's see if we can just blow this stop sign. Whoa, okay, did have somebody coming that I didn't expect. That's all right. We're good now. All right. Yeah, so I didn't get to do that for this video, unfortunately. I just wanted to really make sure that everything is working all right, because there were some issues going on with what do you call it? Lots of like crashes and bugs going on with the experimental beta. So I'm trying to see if things are smoothing out now. For the most part, it seems like they are. Game still runs good. It still looks good. And then I'm also wanting to just kind of test stuff out with some bit of updating that I did to my system. So for any that watched the stream on what was it, Wednesday night? Yeah. We had some issues with the game kind of going wonky. Not necessarily the game, but it was more so my my steering wheel, my hub and everything just completely crapped out on me. So doing stuff a little bit different now with a different hub, and then upgraded my graphics card as well. Not the latest and greatest out there, but I've got most of the settings turned up quite a bit now. So the game looks really, really good, and we'll especially see that in the sunlight. But this will pretty much be the only video where I'll have the frame counter up there. You can probably see that. I think it shows up. Yeah, so you're seeing that in the corner, but it's not going to be up for every video. Just for me to kind of monitor things. So I really noticed that when you get into the cities, your frames drop significantly, and I don't remember it being this bad in 1.49, unless you were in a convoy or something. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. I definitely do not remember the frames getting that low. I want to say I drove through the 1.49 beta for a little bit, and frames were really, really good then. So I'm not sure what's going on, if they're adding just a bunch of assets to, to the game, and that's what's kind of bogging it down. But it is a little ridiculous when the game is as old as it is, and it needs this kind of compute power by a graphics card to run it at a decent frame rate. But 1.50 definitely does have a lot of features in there. There's a lot of rework, a lot of redesign and stuff, so yeah. So, as excited as we are about everything coming into the game with 1.50 in Nebraska, we also kind of have to take it as it comes in regards to the bugs and stuff like that. But yeah, nonetheless, we're still gonna have fun. hope people go. I don't want to get caught at another red light.
Go straight on.
But yeah, so far it seems pretty cool. I'm liking where we are seeing the improvements, and then hoping with the next video we'll get to try out the dynamic loading for the for those grain cargos. That's gonna be sweet. I watched Dan's or Goggles56 his video on that when he did a job in Nebraska. It looks so cool. So yeah, this video is pretty much just gonna be like, because I didn't get to put a trailer together yet. Want to just make sure that everything's smooth. Also because we're streaming tonight as I'm recording this, which will be, by the time you're watching this, will be last night for you.
Go straight on.
Man, with these lights, come on. I want to get out on the road. Oh, there we go. It's green. So we can catch it. And people are not moving. Of course. We're in the lane where no one's moving. Ah, goodness. I wanted to get out on the road here. See if there's any way at all we can just... Oh, somebody's gonna let us go. Nope, never mind. It's already red. That's annoying. What the heck is going on with the blinkers? There. Oh, already morning time coming up. I have a feeling that we're going to get late on this shipment because I did accidentally forget to forward time a little bit before taking the job. But that's alright. I'm really just wanting to make sure that everything's going to be smooth during this video, and that there's not going to be too many glitches and things. It had even happened a couple times where the game would crash at certain points when I was driving. Oop. Didn't realize I turned my wheel out that far.
Go straight on.
There we go. I can testify to the fact that no game besides this one has induced the same levels of stress because of how many things just go wrong that shouldn't be going wrong, you know. But game looks pretty good. I mean, look at the cool reflections and colors, clarity to all the textures. Even in 1.49 we saw a lot of improvements with the skyboxes and things like that. So yeah, game has never looked this good. It's just getting it to actually run
Go straight on.
and for it to remain stable. That is tricky. So I'm kind of keeping an eye. I've kind of made a note of the different graphic changes I've made, and I'm kind of keeping an eye on the frames to see how they do in certain areas. So yeah, once we're getting out of the city, frames climb back up, which was the case before, but I'm kind of keeping it mentally in mind. I know that certain things like weather and traffic also affect it, but I'm kind of wanting to just kind of experiment with everything because, as an example, in the experimental beta, I only ran the TAA setting for the anti-aliasing.
Keep right.
In this situation, I'm running the SMAA and the TAA together. So I'm just kind of wanting to kind of judge the quality and performance of everything.
Keep right.
See how things work out. But I was watching. Not watching. I think I was in the voice chat with the guys yesterday, and I was trying to set up the profile I'm using right now, the Ruda profile for our dedicated server. Because we had to adjust the load order and stuff to remove some incompatible mods. And somebody had mentioned, I think it was Dan and Spig had both mentioned that they're getting pretty crappy frames as well. So it just seems like it's something about the way that the game is utilizing the graphics engine or something, that stuff is just not very well optimized. And that's completely understandable, because I mean, it is what it is. They did release this game, just they leapfrogged over the open beta and just kind of gave us this full version, so that's pretty misleading. I would not take that as that they've ironed out everything at all. I would think that there's lots left to iron out, actually. So I'm going into it with that mentality. There's crashes or poorly optimized or not optimized sectors of the map or the game. I'm expecting it. That way I'm not caught off guard by it. And don't let it get too frustrating, because I think there's still a bit of a ways to go with getting this to run at its best. But nonetheless, we are definitely very appreciative of all the work that SES does, because of, you know, everything it takes to get the maps put in and developed. I'm not sure if they're utilizing AI now to work on the maps. If so, that's awesome, because it gets us you know, more content to buy. But yeah, regardless, the game has never looked this good. There were also some areas I was noticing where the whatchamacallit, some of the map, the areas outside of the viewable area by the player are also very I guess shoddily put together. Because if you're flying around and you're going through all the areas that, you know, they don't really expect people to drive into, you're gonna see a lot of weird stuff, and you're gonna think that it's the map not loading it, but in fact it's just nothing there. And then there's also some areas where you can see that the textures are just not either they're not complete, or they're not using good models for it. Ever since 1.49 and probably before then, I've been a complainer about the textures for the vegetation, that the textures on the ground look nice, but you get like right up on some trees and they look like paper mache. They just don't look good. It's nice that they're putting a lot of, you know, attention to the buildings and everything, getting us better quality buildings. I just wish that they would also do some stuff with the vegetation. There's some mods out there that'll help with that. They'll give you like better vegetation and stuff like that, but stuff like that, you know, now that 1.50's out, is not going to work until they update it. But yeah, we're and I don't want you to take it as that I'm, you know, that I'm trying to complain or be a nitpick. We just kind of look at this very objectively as far as what needs to improve and what doesn't. And I mean, we also want our game to look good. There's some cases where this game, in certain areas, still needs a lot of loving, like the vegetation. But to focus on the positives, everything is much sharper. I really appreciate all of the work done on the shadows. Especially the far shadows, like you can see, way over there in the mountain, in the distance, the shadows going on. And that's a setting you can change if you want to disable far shadows from loading in. I'm sure that also will improve frames a bit. But to essentially have this game looking as good as it does without any graphics mods or anything, there's some things you can tinker with, like the TAA helps with that, having sun shafts on or off, and you can also adjust the sun shaft density, I think it's called, in your config file if you want to adjust that at some point. And then if your PC can handle it, there's also different scaling settings and things like that you can mess with and get the game looking better. But the TAA really does help, and I mean, you can see here with the shadows, I mean, they have really ironed out the shadows and the lighting a lot. And I think one of the other things is that they're trying to smooth out shadows with the light ranges, because shadows are not boxy. They are, when you're looking at it, in real life, you don't just see like light boxes here and there. And that's something that the Unity engine is doing extremely well. Looking at gameplay for other what's the word? I had it in my mind. Gameplay for other, I guess games, but also just different media projects that people do that they use Unity to develop.
Keep left and then turn.
There are definitely amazing strides being made as far as
Turn
getting
left.
lighting to look realistic and dynamic, and essentially to fool you into thinking that there are no light boxes. Because in every game there's light boxes and there's sun shafts that have to be modeled. But this game is a great example of those strides being made.
Go straight up.
Sharp turn right here. Glad we're not pulling anything too heavy or too long or wide. Pretty easy one today. I think it's just I should have probably bothered to actually look at the load a little more. And we got to get a screenshot here. So let's go ahead and do that now, and I'll be right back here with you. All right, got our screenshot, and it's looking good. I was also reading there's a lot of cool stuff on, so I know there's lots of documentation and tutorials and stuff for modding the game. If you look at modding.scssoft.com, you can also look at the changelog for the different modding options. They keep a log of everything with each version that comes out. I think at the moment, last I checked, they don't yet have ATS updated all the way up to 1.50 with all the changes, but they do for ETS, and a lot of the same principles apply.
Go straight.
So like some of the changes are, these new chassis options and like these different things you can do with the axles. That's really, really cool. I want to say that at some point they're going to be introducing steerable axles, so that's going to be interesting. But for those that mod the game, that portion of the SES site has a lot of nice documentation for you to kind of go through, and it's nice that they keep change logs like that. They also give you instructions on how to convert maps to the newest version. Essentially, you just use the map tool. Like if you to get into the map tool, you pretty much just launch either I forget what the name of the executable is for Euro Truck Simulator, but amtrucks.exe. You just launch it with the -edit parameter, and that'll bring up the map editor, and then that's where you would load in all your map projects. So I think from in there you would just use the built-in tool to rebuild the map, and I think that would convert it to the latest version. So it probably takes a lot of time though, depending on how many objects you have in your map project. But it is nice that they include that documentation nonetheless, for anybody that needs it. And of course, you can also find a lot of other information about the game that's helpful to know, even if you're not into modding or anything. In fact, Dan put out a video today of some settings you can put into your config file to make reflections look a lot better. So little things like that really just enhance your gameplay experience, and they make it available for you to do that. You just need to be able to get to your config file, be able to open it in like Notepad or Notepad++, something like that, to actually make the changes to each line, edit the values, and then save the file and such. I've also kind of been experimenting with running a dedicated server from the client. So there's a way you can do that with, like for example, if you
and then turn left.
if you want to run a dedicated server from, like let's say a Linux box, you can do that as long as you download the Steam CMD tool, and have to run it, as in an elevated CLI interface. But you can run the dedicated server from basically any machine as long as you've got enough RAM, compute power, and good internet connection. That way, anybody who's joining your dedicated server over the internet won't have issues with latency and such. But I've been thinking about that because we do have paid services that we utilize. All of us in the Discord, we use Gportal to host our dedicated servers in a private game cloud. So I was looking into like possibly doing that, just setting up a dedicated server to run from my one of my spare machines here at home. Because with the fiber connection that we have here, and then with the spare machine that I've got, it's nowhere near a gaming machine, but it should have more than enough resources, because really the server's not really going to use much power. It's only going to be used to establish the connection to whatever Steam logon token you set to use your Steam account, and then that way you can have friends join, because it'll use Steam's server token that you just set up. You just generate a token for that specific game ID for American Truck Sim, and then once the server's running,
Keep right, and then turn
then
right.
anybody can join it as long as you edit the server config file and make it what is it, discoverable, and then provide whoever's joining with the name and password. So looking at the server config file, that's where you would detail all of the dedicated ports, virtual ports, and such. I usually leave mine default, so when you run the server client for the first time, it's just an executable called amtrucks_server. It'll generate a blank server config.sii file, and then you just go in there and edit things as you need. But then you also need to have the game installed, own the game and have the game installed, and then once you sign into your profile, you'll just need to export the server packages and then those 2 files will be saved in your Documents American Truck Simulator folder. Then you just copy those over to the base folder where the server's installed, and it'll pick it up. And it'll use that server packages file to tell everybody who's connecting what mods they need. So the actual server isn't going to use a lot of power. Just needs a internet connection, and I want to say the server, what do you call it? Max player list allowed is 8 players in a convoy. So you don't have a lot of people connecting. It's not actually hosting any mods. The game takes care of that. It's just telling you what mods you do need in order to connect. So I want to say that the most that they recommend is about 4 gigs of RAM on a machine that's going to run the server. So that's, I mean, usually people have 4 gigs as a minimum on their machines. So I've been kind of tinkering with that and experimenting, because I do want to at some point offload. Maybe not. I don't know if the guys would want to do that for all of our servers, but I've been thinking about the server that is under my name in G-Portal, Hell Creek 1. That's our first dedicated server. But thinking about offloading from G-Portal and just kind of hosting it in-house. But still lots of testing to do. Have to make sure people can connect externally. Because I tested the convoy within my... Like, if I'm running the convoy server and then I try to connect from my game, I can connect just fine. Just need to make sure that the ports actually work, because anybody connecting outside of my firewall will need to actually be able to get in, otherwise it's pointless. So, but there's not a lot to do with the server config file. It's a simple JSON file. Not too many options, but the ones that are there are important. So you have to make sure that you get everything right. Mainly the name and password of your server, the server logon for Steam that you want the server to use. That way people can actually connect to it. Because their Steam account will make the connection over to your Steam account that's hosting that server through Steam. So anyway, that's a rambling bit there, but my point is, all of that documentation is on modding.scsoft.com, so you can go and read stuff like that. You can read some of their other tutorials that they make, you know, for a lot of other things that people might be interested in doing with the game. So it's pretty neat. I am eagerly looking for the Welcome to Nebraska sign. So far everything seems pretty kosher. No bad crashes or bugs or anything just yet. And again, it's a pretty simple drop we're doing today. It's nothing really special. Just wanted to make sure that everything goes smooth before the live stream. 'Cause those surprises are not welcome. The only thing I can still see we're getting is little stutters, kind of like what we just got. That just reminded me of that. Okay, so we're still in Cheyenne, still in Wyoming, coming up to Cheyenne. So we're not far off from Nebraska. Not by much. Should be there in no time. Yeah, one thing I need to really get under control here is these frames, because even with the upgrade, frames are still little. It's almost like they're being throttled, kind of, and you're not able to get more than a certain amount, no matter what. You know, of course, the game does look good. Missile drive. Kind of recognize this area. I haven't been here in a while though.
Keep left.
The landscaping looks a little different. I wonder if we're in Nebraska territory by now. Maybe not. Rock Springs, I'm pretty sure, is still Wyoming. We kind of came from like one extreme side of Wyoming. So it's going to take us a little bit to actually get to Nebraska, but...
Keep right, and then exit right.
Okay. So we're making a connection to another interstate here.
Exit.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Of course there's a detour. Why do they do that? Come on, seriously? It's closed on that side too.
Keep right, and then exit right.
Alright, well, that's not too bad. It's not gonna add too much time.
Exit right. Keep left, and then exit left. Exit left.
Wonder if we can still go, even though it's red. No, maybe not. That's through traffic. Oh, take out a sign. Or a pole. That's a tight turn too. Holy cow. Really tight.
Keep right, and then exit right.
Oh my goodness, this is broken down too.
Exit.
You know what? We're gonna have to go. Sorry guys, we're breaking the law here, I know, but we gotta get to our destination. I'm sorry. That's not the way to build a good a good trucking company relationship or reputation. Breaking the law like that. But yeah, we don't have much of a choice. We gotta get to gotta get to where we're going. Alright, here's Cheyenne. What is it now? Oh my goodness. They're throwing so much in front of us. Bad car fire, looks like. Jeez. Maybe that's why they had it closed off. I don't know. That's a good way to get ourselves on an FBI watch list. All this law breaking we've been doing. We're just trying to get to Nebraska. They're making it so difficult for us. There we go. The best horn you've ever heard. Welcome to Nebraska. It already has a different feel. That's incredible that they can do that. Just every state has its own unique feel and look to it. So it's kind of like no other place similar to it. It's every state is its own thing, and you can really tell too. It's incredible. Look at that. Nice scenery out there. So I imagine there's going to be a lot of farmland and stuff. A lot of fields. It's definitely a lot of open area. Really nice. It reminds me a lot of Kansas. When Kansas first came out, we saw a lot of this. A lot of these open fields and everything, but it was a lot more flat. There's definitely a lot more hilly terrain and stuff here. But you really do gotta admire, can't help but admire all the work that SES puts into like each state. Water tower right there. That's cool. I can't even remember the destination city. Done forgot. Make sure we don't hit 80. Went a little fast there. Just set these. Okay, left lane, what are you doing? You gotta get over. View 1 mile. I'm surprised we haven't gotten the late warning yet. It must not be an urgent job, because we did fast forward time quite a bit after I took the job. I wasn't thinking. I should have done it before taking the job. Keep my foot off the throttle there, or else I'll get race miles. Don't want that. if we're going to Omaha. Just saw the sign up there. Definitely have lots to discover here, so that's awesome. Man, every lane we get in, it starts going slow. Cleared out, so let's get back in our lane here. Yeah, this mess right here is like, okay, we're dropping to 30 frames and we're not even in a city. That's a little weird. Stuff is just I don't know, it's just not optimized to its peak yet. This is kind of stuff that you would expect them to kind of iron out in a open beta. But yeah, it is what it is. We're going to be expecting stuff like that a lot. It is rather odd, you know, we're in an open country area, not many cars around, definitely not even any buildings other than the occasional, you know, houses here and there along the interstate, and we're still not even getting a solid 60 frames through here. That's a little concerning. I also remember that so it was a pretty distinguishable period when it happened, when Texas first came out. We had the same issue. Anytime, although granted it was when you were, you know, in a bigger city, or even just a town with enough buildings, we would see that a lot. Frames would be really bad in those areas, but over time they optimized it and stuff started to work okay. North Platte, that's where we're going. That sounds familiar now. I think our drop off is not too far from here. Okay, oh, right lane should be clear. Definitely nice though. We could probably hang out in our top view, taking some of the scenery here. This is looking nice. A little bit of a stutter there. Man, this looks good out here. Big old prefabs. I wonder if that's a That's a one of those grain sites we're coming to. It's Organic Valley, yeah. Very nice. Love the feel of Nebraska already. A nice welcome.
You have arrived at your destination. Your route guidance is now finished.
All right, thank you, Sky. Appreciate it as always. All right, over there to the left, looks like so. Our four-way's on too. Should be an easy enough back. We'll just kind of need to pull ourselves. Can we fit through there? Possibly. It'd be a little tight. Yep, it's a little tight. How we're looking. Can't even turn my head that far. We need this view right here. There we go. All right. Pretty straight back for the most part. Make sure not to scratch this other flatbed. Whoops. I had it straight, and then I didn't. I want to overcomplicate it, which I am known for doing. There's those new dust particles. Looks pretty nice. It's a nice 1.50 edition. Man, I messed it up again here too. I guess I just overcompensate on the getting it straight. All right, well that looks good. Reach down and grab my keyboard here. All right. Got our backhoe loader delivered from Cody to North Platte, Nebraska. And I think we leveled up here too. Let's see. Yeah, nice. Sweet. Well, that was a nice drive. Really appreciate you guys checking out the video, and we'll hopefully see you at the live stream. It'll already have happened by the time you see it, so I'm just kind of talking to myself at this point. But anyways, definitely excited about the new stuff. 1.50 Nebraska, lots to explore and lots to check out. So really appreciate you guys following along. Hopefully you guys are enjoying 1.50 as well. Definitely let me know. And we'll hopefully see you around back here on the channel. So please subscribe if you enjoyed watching. Drop a like while you're at it as well. I appreciate the love and support as always. All the subscribers and viewers helping me out and coming back to the channel. Really appreciate that. So we'll see you guys in the next video or stream, whenever that is. And until then, guys, be safe and have a good one.